Hi, I'm Naomi, and I'm going to share a story of how God freed a man from the bondage of addiction and alcohol. So my DTS team and I actually went to Tanzania for our outreach, and while we were there, we saw the Lord do some really amazing things. We were doing door-to-door ministry, which in their terms is called boma to boma. So as we were traveling, we waited and depended on the Holy Spirit to give us direction as to where we were supposed to go. And in following our translators, we ended up stopping at this house that happened to be the house of the chief and his wife. An excited face ran towards us as she greeted us and welcomed us into her home. She shared with us that she had actually been a Christian for a long time and was praying for one of her sons that was not a Christian. Unfortunately, he wasn't home at the time, but we were able to pray over the woman and her house and all of her children. She was so thankful, and we were so excited for the encounter that we had with this lady that loved Jesus so much. But as we were traveling, we all felt heaviness in our heart, like our time in that area was not finished. And as we were walking, I saw a dark figure standing to the right of me. When I looked up, I saw a man with dusty feet and hard eyes looking at us. As we spoke with him, we found out that he was actually the man that the woman had been praying for. This was her son. He invited us to come into a home that he was building and asked us to pray for peace over his life. As my team and I conversed with him, he refused to accept Jesus, but all he wanted was peace over his home. After a little more conversation, we decided to pray over him. But before we prayed, the Holy Spirit gripped my heart and spoke directly to me. With fear in my heart, I stared at him straight in his eyes and spoke the words that the Lord had given me. He was lonely, he was tired, and he was running. He had nothing, and he was clinging to alcohol to fill the void that only Jesus could fill. As the words left my mouth, tears began to well in his eyes and stream down his face. With a broken look in his face and in his heart, he fell in a pile of bricks, surrendering his life to Jesus. In that moment, that man knew that Jesus knew his name, that he loved him and that he was calling him, and he gave his life to the Lord in that moment. But not only him, the builders of his house were present, and the Lord began to speak to my team words of knowledge for each and every person. Soon, we were praying over the entire building, and everyone was on their knees, weeping and praising Jesus for what he was doing. God did something supernatural in that day, and he healed an alcoholic.